Hey guys, it's Samuel Larsen here, and I wanted to share with you one of my favorite exercises when it comes to planning with your business and basically making smart decisions for the future. So let's look at the best chess players, poker players, whatever there are. Like these kind of people, they're not just making the action or the decision just for that one particular play or move. They are always thinking like, how will the opponents and the environment react to this? How does this play with everything else that has been happening, etc. So in that way, when you think about it, it's not actually a single decision you're making, but rather it's a part of the whole, and the whole matters to everything you do. So if you take your business or any business, for example, there are always threats to that business. So these could be anything. These could be internal threats, external threats, threats that you're not oftentimes even aware of, and very commonly threats that you haven't fully admitted to yourself. And this is where this exercise comes to play. Because oftentimes you know what is threatening your business. So what could be a potential hurting point? What are you not admitting yourself? But it's just very tough to be that objective and to basically admit the truth. So no business is really 100% safe from any kind of disrupting elements, whether they're external or whatever. And no business really should be. If you are, you're probably not taking enough chances, risks, etc. You're playing it safe. So I would say, like, statistically, of course, it's extremely rare for any business to really survive several decades. If you think of companies, like probably 99% of them haven't been around in the 60s. Of course, like the biggest, most like well-established companies are, but the smaller ones, probably not. So most companies just make money temporarily. Then eventually they get taken out of business for some reason. And if I look at the most successful entrepreneurs I know, they spend a lot of time with their notepads. So they're always scratching, always strategizing. They're really working on the business, not inside of it. And this involves really like going deep into what is going to happen, what might be a big thing in the future, and doing this kind of thing. So they're simply thinking, they're ideating, they're strategizing, spending a lot of time there. And even if you look at, for example, ancient Stoics, they practice this called so-called negative visualization, where you're imagining all the things that could go wrong. And then when they happen, first of all, you're not going to be as disappointed, but more than that, you're more likely to be prepared. So you know what you're going to do. And oftentimes you actually don't get to that point because you're able to take preventive action. So this is about simply thinking of all the things that could go wrong. Now, I know for entrepreneurs, this is a little bit counterintuitive because oftentimes entrepreneurs are a little bit more on the positive side. And basically, well, you probably wouldn't be in business if you didn't believe in your business and your idea. So we get married to that, and we start thinking like whatever we do is the best thing ever. However, that's not always the case. And whenever something goes wrong, it usually could have been anticipated. Nothing really happens in that like split second that like you absolutely couldn't have foreseen it and prepared for it. So in that sense, like you know how to react to it if you are able to admit to yourself, and this way you will not freak out. So thinking and being honest to yourself, really, that's the hardest thing there is. And that's why very few people actually engage in this kind of thinking, where they're 100% honest, when they're like try to be as objective as possible and really look at it things from this kind of bird's eye view. And of course, when you're ideating, when you're thinking about all the wrong things that could happen, most of these bad things never happen, but they could happen. And that's the key. These could happen. Now, it would be better to prepare beforehand and prevent things before it is too late. So it is about being proactive and taking preventive action. Now, just imagine yourself in the future where something went wrong with your business and simply ask yourself, what was it? So you might imagine yourself like 6 months from now, something went wrong with this project. What was it? And once you have the answers to that, really spend time thinking about it. Because this is not just something like some surface level experiment where it's like, okay, it was probably this, and then you don't even care. Just write down an exhaustive list, spend some time on it. It will be worth it. So once you ask yourself things like this, like, what don't I know right now that could massively disrupt my business? What is coming up in the next few months that could affect my business in a positive light, in a negative light? Where are the opportunities? Where are the threats? Listing them out. And I think even most importantly, like, where am I simply being dishonest to myself? What assumptions am I making that I'm not even aware of? And what don't I see in the marketplace that I should see? Questions like these, like, they appear simplistic, and you might look over them and like, not for me. But at the same time, like, you probably have answers to these that you didn't think of if you just spent time enough. So it's really important for business success to avoid any bad assumptions. This is what wastes years in startups. So if you build up a business with the great assumptions that everybody will care, you'll have a lot of customers, and you plan on it for a couple years before you get to market, and then you find out that nobody actually cared, that is probably one of the most tragic things that could happen to anybody, because it's such a waste of talent, energy, time, money. And if you had actually anticipated these things, asked these questions, you would have not made these mistakes. And of course, the point is not to get all negative and very like doomy gloomy, but honestly, there's a lot of things that could happen. What are your business most reliant on? Because like Facebook could close your account, happens all the time. Your dropshipper could decline your orders. They could raise pricing. They could turn out to be very unreliable all of a sudden. There's a ton of things that could delay your orders. Maybe there's a trade ban with China. Like, you don't know. So there's a ton of things. And simply a new competitor might come and disrupt everything you've been doing if you're getting slacky, if you're not executing well enough anymore. So what is the very next thing that could go wrong? Don't get too comfortable, because on a long enough timeline, the ride is never smooth, and you will be challenged along the way. And we all know the saying, the famous saying, whenever something can go wrong, it eventually will go wrong. So be prepared for that. And thinking, it never hurts. It's just preparation. It's proactive preparation. Most of the time, like I said, you already know what is going to go wrong before it goes wrong. So you just need to admit to yourself. And once you do that, you'll be a lot better of an entrepreneur, a lot better of a CEO, and you are way more likely to make great decisions. All right, thank you for watching. For more e-commerce business related videos, follow the channel by subscribing. Make sure to like the video, comment. I'll personally respond to every single comment, and I will see you on the next one. Thanks.